All right. So again, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us for this webinar. I know we haven't had one in a while, but now that everybody's back from their vacations, summer is done. So we will kick this back on, and we're starting with our first one, which is kind of a interesting topic. At least we find it interesting. A lot of people are asking for it. Is how can you use AI assistant to help with project management and streamline project management overall? And the name of the webinar actually is Streamline Project Management with AI powered scheduling and risk logs in Power PPM. So we're going to be focusing on how you could do that in the Power PPM tool, and which is one of the tools that we have and do support. And like I said before, this webinar is going to be recorded. Well, it is streaming live on YouTube, but also will be available for those of you that would like to rewatch. It can be shared on YouTube. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have a great deal of videos on there already. Plus, we do post some new content all the time. Again, we only have 30 minutes, so I'd like to hand this over to Alex. So without further ado, we're going to get started.
All right, thanks, Yuri. 1, 2, 3, sound check. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good, very good. All right, thanks. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. For those who are watching this as a recorded video on a YouTube or shared link, or on YouTube specifically, please do subscribe, because it looks like it's a great media source for us to distribute some of our webinars here. So please feel free to subscribe and stay tuned to our videos. We're going to post, and we have been posting all of our content here on the YouTube channel. Please feel free to use this as your source of information. So today, I'm excited to actually show some of the buzzwords in action, so to speak, right? We are going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, in project management. And this is something that apparently just a scratch of the surface to begin with, but this is kind of it should open your mind to, or open anybody's mind who is in project management, PMO, portfolio management, open its mind to opportunities, to capabilities of what we can do, how AI can actually help and automate and help the life of project manager or portfolio manager, or anyone who is dealing with projects, running projects, planning for projects, and things like that. So we are currently we work with all kinds of different tools here and there, but this specific one I'm going to show you is the example of artificial intelligence capabilities within Power PPM. Power PPM solution here. It is based on, sitting on basically Microsoft 365. You can see it's kind of part of the suite, and it's specifically sitting within those Power Apps, where we have the Power PPM solution. Just about the Power PPM is a great tool. We love it. It has all kinds of very good and productive features. We're not going to dwell into most of the features, but we're primarily going to be focusing on how we're using AI to enhance our experience while managing projects. So, just in a nutshell, this is like a homepage, and we have all kinds of usual attributes of PMO here. We have programs, we have portfolios, risks, we have a strategy, and we have reports, ideas. And well, in this case, we call it initiatives. Sometimes historically, it's been called projects. Some organizations call it initiatives. Some organizations call it investments. Some organizations call it even some product development initiatives and things like that. So we do have a flavor of products here, and we do have a flavor of roadmaps and portfolios. But primarily, initiatives is what we used to be calling projects, and this is what would have most traditional attributes as far as project management. And if I click on it, we'll get into the list of all projects here. So this particular demo, we have like European, inclination here with euros and budgets and things like that. But here we have the list of all projects, and the first feature I'd like to show is the creation of a schedule. Right. So we're going to create create a schedule. So I'm going to click on either new here, or there's an option to do it in different places. I'm just going to simply create a new project, and we're going to kind of add some attributes to it. And some of these attributes, believe it or not, are actually participating in the AI algorithm to create additional content that we will be using. So before I do that, I'm going to ask everyone who is participating today, and see people are still trickling in. Thanks for coming by, stopping by here. Please use the chat here to suggest a chat or a Q&A. I'm not sure what is it available, but do let us know while we're doing this some of the ideas of projects that you'd like to create, and we're going to try to use AI basically on the fly over here to create some of those schedules based on your ideas, based on your projects. Don't give us too much of a insights as to details as far as too many details, but just tell us which projects you are interested to see how AI will behave for those projects. The more specific you can be, the better, but make like a one-line bullet point a project that you're interested to create. So while you're doing this, I'm going to come up with my own, or with one of my own, and that would be, let's just say we're going to create a project, say build a 3-story building in New York City, something like this. All right, so that would be our project. I'm gonna click on create the project. Once I do that, it kind of creates all the relevant objects behind the scenes. I can also fill out all kinds of additional information here. I have different statuses. I'm going to say this is active project. The description: build the building in the downtown of New York City, and create the shopping center at the ground floor. The ground floor. All right. I do have all kinds of additional attributes I can use. So if I'm using some of the specific names, it's kind of giving me not just a name, it gives me all kinds of additional attributes for a person. I can quickly contact that person here. I can link the ideas. I can also select the priority. I can add more attributes to this project if I'd like to. So in the next kind of versions of this iterations, a lot more information will be taken into account while building some of those dynamic schedules using AI. And I'm just filling this out for now. So real quickly, let's add, maybe this is going to be expected benefits. That would be like to say 500,000 with the expected benefits. Let's just say the status here is all good for now, and it's all good for now. I'm going to say expected start is going to be the 20th. Expected finish is going to be, say, well, the building in New York City doesn't build overnight, so let's just say April 24 is something that we're anticipated to be done. And by saving all this, we have all kinds of additional attributes. We're probably going to go through some of it, but we're going to be focusing primarily on timeline and risks. So now if I go to the timeline, I have this beautiful timeline feature, Gantt chart feature that is available for me, but I'd like to start with a certain template. And if I do want to start with a template, I can select one of these templates. I can even look at what's in those templates, right? I can see, oh, this template, no, it's not going to work for me here. It's two small projects. Maybe I should look at some other template, and I can look at and see which template is good for me. So, but those are kind of predefined templates. And if you're running in your organization some specific projects, then you would be able to kind of set your own templates and then create those projects based on your specific template. Say construction people, they have specific phases and milestones to go through, then you would have those specific phases already in. But if you're starting from scratch, right, and we're building a three-story building in the middle of the New York City, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to try to ask AI to build the schedule for us, right? So I'm going to click on this, and this is going to use the ChatGPT model that is baked into our specific Azure environment that is isolated from the internet. And our requests are not going out into the internet. So whatever I'm typing here is not going out to the open, out to the internet. So it's very secure. My information, my results are also staying within my Azure environment. So this is now built by Microsoft Azure with the latest ChatGPT 4 models in use. So what we're going to do, we're going to say schedule, build a schedule, build a, and this is where I would like to have your ideas to mention your ideas that you'd like to create. I'm going to try to run the AI against your ideas and see what schedules we will come up with. Build a project plan, build a house, build a three-story building, in the downtown of New York City. All right, let's see. I'm going to click on generate this, and now it's going to run the model within my Azure environment. Again, this is very important to say. This is, we call it responsible AI, right? It also has a variety of sensor and filters. So if there's sensitive information, if there's inappropriate information used, there's certain filters engaged. And there we go. So it came up with a certain steps. I mean, it's just probably not very detailed, but it's detailed enough for me to start. I'm not starting from scratch, right? And site preparation, I need the foundation, I need to have a structural framing, exterior walls, roofing, interior framing, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, interior finishes, and final inspection. So these some kind of milestones and areas that I can start filling out with additional information. So, and this is something that we can run, and some of your ideas over there. So I see some of the questions. How do you say it's not going to internet if you're using ChatGPT API? So the model is deployed within Azure OpenAI. So it uses the model, but it's not sending the information outside. But I'll also be able to share the links that describe that security framework that is used within the ChatGPT 4 model. It's not an OpenAI. It's not an OpenAI where you go to openai.com, right? And this is where it's open to the internet, so to speak, right? And then you use the model to exchange information with. Here is this: the model is deployed internally, and it's not sharing the information outside. So, and it's using our, in this case, Azure capabilities. So yeah, thank you for marking as an answer. Do we have any ideas as far as creating projects?
You just have one idea from me.
Build a detailed project plan. Plan a wedding in Paris, France for 100 people. I'll just say we're going to do that. So I'm going to go to initiatives, like a new one. I'm going to say, so this is the project we're going to use. I'm going to save this project. I'm going to add any more attributes. I'm just going to go straight to the timeline, and let's see. Start from AI. So plan a wedding. I'll just say a wedding in Paris. Well, I hope the AI would know the Paris is in France for 100 people. With when it adds anything else, I just say why 100? I'll just say 1,000 people. A good wedding. So let's see what it will come up with. Oh, it's working on it. Editing the project. So it's not just, as you can see, it's not just adding it's adding the tasks, right? The vendor selection, creating arrangements, and giving us like a rough, idea of the project. But you can also tell that when this project is going to start. So let's just say if I am going to redo this, I'm going to say, so now right now everything started like in 2022, so that I don't really like that. If I am going to ask the same question again, but in this case, I'm going to ask ask to put it on a timeline on a specific date. So I can allow us to ask that. So I'm gonna again use the AI, say plan the wedding in Paris, France for 100 people in July of 2024. And that would not just build the schedule, kind of put the sequence more or less in place, right? And it would also, hopefully, would put everything in starting in July of 2024. Oh, it didn't. It didn't. It did. It's finishing in July of 2024. Well, I mean, and it's starting this year. So what we can do, we can link everything right from here. going forward. We can link everything, make it all, make it all hard links, and then start pushing everything on a timeline based on these links, right? But at least we're not starting from scratch. It's a lot. It's improving every day as we speak. This is the first, as I said, the first feature that got implemented. More and more features are coming. We have ways to tune up your Azure environment and create models, deploy the models, and start using some of these things towards creating schedules, towards coming up with certain descriptions, coming up with certain risks. So speaking of risks, let's talk about risks. So now we have the 100 people schedule here. Let me just finish linking everything. Actually, I'm not gonna finish linking everything. You got the idea of linking everything. I'm going to go to risks. So now we have all kinds of modules here. We have the change requests and stakeholders. We have been having webinars about this. I'm sure we're going to have more. Speaking of risks and speaking of AI generated risk. So now we're going to say, well, how about we ask the AI, artificial intelligence, to tell us, create 5 risks of planning 1,000 people wedding in Paris, having Paris with with people coming from all over the world. Right, I'm giving some specifics, and we're not training the model to actually be able to take specifics from actual schedule and timelines and resources and financials about the project. But in this case, we're just going to tell them this. We're going to see what kind of risk we will come up with, and then from the risk identification perspective, for those of us who are PMI trained, we know that the risk identification process is very cumbersome. And there we go. We have already a risk. So travel restrictions, right? So it took into account the Paris, the international travel, the people have traveled from all the world. So that's a travel restriction. That's a good risk. The budget overrun, logistical issues, weather conditions, right? So some of these things there are typically, and this is number 4, and I think we have one more in the next page, vendor cancellation, right? That's another one. It also came up with, I go back here, it came up with the probability, with the impact, didn't come up with the due date yet, but it's, again, this is the first step. When we help project manager to run this called, a risk identification process, where the risks are identified, even though we may have missed some of this risk. So some of this risk would come up as a result of this AI process. We have someone coming up here on the Q&A. I am an Azure solution architect, and I know for sure that you cannot implement an isolated instance of GPT model, even if you're using Azure OpenAI and deploy it in your tenant. It still runs through the external API. You understand what you're talking about from the technical standpoint. Well, let's put it this way. I am not necessarily a developer and a coder. I can only read what Microsoft is telling, and there is an article. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. I would be able to display this on the screen. So this is a tough question that comes up, but let me see if I can pull up the right article in front of us here. So let me do this here. I'll go here. Yeah, second, I'll try to bring up the article about the information that is not displayed and shared across over here. So there it is. There it is. So the prompts and completions outputs, your embeddings to your training data are not available to other customers, are not available to OpenAPI, are not used to improve OpenAI models, are not used to improve Microsoft third-party products and services. So this is what data privacy and security for all Azure OpenAI services. I'll also paste this link into the chat so everyone can see that. It's developing as we speak. As you know, Microsoft just recently acquired ChatGPT and OpenAI, and more and more things will come up. I'm sure it's going to be even more secure and ways to prove the enterprise and businesses that are out there that are concerned about the privacy and security of the data, making sure that the data is secured and not exposed outside of the company. I hope that answered the question, and I think we're basically running out of time.
Alex, sorry to interrupt. Before we do run out of time, I did prepare a quick anonymous poll just to get a sense of where everyone stands as far as AI. It's a few questions. Again, it's anonymous. If I can just launch the poll, if you don't mind taking it. As I said, it's anonymous just to get a sense of where everyone are. Here it is. Just a few questions.
The question: have you previously used AI-powered features in your project management tools? So yes, no, not sure. Second question: do you believe that AI can significantly improve project scheduling accuracy? And the third question: how familiar are you with the concepts of AI-enhanced risk logs? All right, we're getting some answers. Thank you very much for.
Yeah, and Stanley, thank you for asking the question. If you'd like to take this offline, we certainly, as an expert, love to get your input as far as OpenAI and the security around Azure AI, how it is integrated. So if you'd like to chat more about it, we'd love to get your input as an Azure expert.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching and stopping by and coming and to see this webinar. I hope it was somewhat interesting, and let me know if you'd like to continue the conversation. So what we did, we created the project schedule using AI, and we created identified risks using AI. So that's something that is pretty exciting to me. I'm sure it is exciting to some of the other project managers and portfolio managers out there. So feel free to reach out and engage into the conversation, and we will continue to create more webinars and create more videos about this. And stay tuned. Thanks for coming. Have a great day.
Yeah, I'm going to close the poll at this time and share the data with everyone. So as you could see, these are the results from the poll questions. So thank you very much for participating. And again, as Alex said, we're going to try to bring more of these on a consistent basis to you. Some of them will be more on AI. Some will be on project portfolio management as general, general subjects. Some about technology, some about process. Maybe we'll have some roundtable discussions with some of the SMEs. So yes, so please keep an eye on our email invites and hope to see you soon. Thanks again. Thank you for joining.